All right, hello everybody, and thank you for joining me for this month's HeinOnline webinar focusing on the international treaties and other international agreements collection that we have in HeinOnline. So we're going to be focusing on researching international treaties. My name is Roxanne Marmion. I'm sure many of you, if you've joined other webinars, you're familiar with my colleagues, Tim and Steve. They often host webinars as well. We're located in Buffalo, New York. And so thank you everyone for joining us from all over the world. All right, a quick overview of today's webinar. First, I just want to give a brief introduction to HeinOnline. I know many people attending here are familiar with HeinOnline. You've used HeinOnline in the past. But I know we often also get many new researchers to HeinOnline in these webinars. So I just want to give a quick overview of what HeinOnline is. So HeinOnline is a multidisciplinary database. We cover over 1,500 research topics and 40 academic subjects. So just to give you an idea of some of the subjects covered, international relations, women's studies. We have a database focused on water law and water rights, law of the sea, political science, criminal justice, medicine, religious studies, and so much more. We have over 100 different databases. Some of the key content will include our journal database with over 3,000 journals. We have, of course, the International Treaty Database, which we're focusing on today. We have a substantial collection of world constitutions and constitutional histories available, government documents, books, treatises as well in HeinOnline. So we have several different subscription packages. So you may be a subscriber to HeinOnline already and have one of our subscription packages. You may be on trial to HeinOnline for a specific package. And then we have a lot of a la carte or optional add-ons. So the International Treaty Database, the World Treaty Library that we're going to focus on today, this is available in the HeinOnline International Core package. In addition to being available in International Core, this is also available as an a la carte optional add-on. So if you have a core package that doesn't include the treaties, but you're interested in taking a look at this database, we always offer trials. So let us know if you're interested at the end of this webinar, if you're interested in a trial, and we'd be happy to set that up for you. Okay, so then again, at the end, I am going to open it up to questions and answers. All right, about HeinOnline's World Treaty Library. So we like to think of our database as the richest collection of world treaties ever available. We have over 180,000 treaty records available in this database. So HeinOnline's treaty database brings together works from Rohn's, so Rohn's World Treaty Index. This is an index of all worldwide treaties from 1900 through 1980. We make this index, we took this index and we provide linking to the index treaties for the first time ever. Treaties from Wickeder, multilateral treaty calendar. So this is a list of all multilateral treaties concluded during the 350-year period from 1648 to 1995. So it'll cover all multilateral treaties. So, I should mention, HeinOnline's World Treaty Library includes both bilateral as well as multilateral treaties. Of course, the United Nations Treaty Series, one of the most well-known, largest treaties collections available. So the publication of treaties and international agreements registered or filed with the Secretariat of the United Nations is going to be included in the UN Treaty Series. We have that in HeinOnline. In addition to the United Nations Treaty Series, we have the predecessor to the United Nations Treaty Series, the League of Nations Treaty Series, which covers the time frame 1920 through 1946. We also have a substantial collection of US treaties and agreements available. We have COF's Current Treaty Index, which will include, it keeps you up to date with all US treaties, even if they're not officially published yet. We assign COV numbers they'll be assigned COB numbers, so you'll be able to see the most up-to-date current treaties that the United States is a party to. In addition to having all of this substantial treaty content, we have a lot of great features. So we have we have custom tools. We have a custom treaty index search tool. So this will allow you to search by country, treaty number, sign date, subject, citation, and so much more. And of course, I mentioned the United Nations publications that we have, the UN publication treaty series in HeinOnline, and then the US Treaty and Index and additional search tools available there. I want to point out the LibGuide. So we have a World Treaty Library LibGuide. I highly recommend when you're doing your research, your treaty research in HeinOnline, to take a look at this LibGuide. It has a lot of helpful search tips, gives you a nice overview of the content available in this database, so very helpful to look at. So now what I want to do is I actually am going to go right into HeinOnline. Just make sure, so right now everyone should be seeing the HeinOnline screen. If you're not able to see HeinOnline, just let me know through the chat. I'll keep an eye here. All right, so from the HeinOnline welcome page, you're going to see a list of all the databases we have here. I'm going to click on the World Treaty Library. So I'm just going to go right to the World Treaty Library homepage here. Okay, so now we're looking at the World Treaty Library homepage here. And the first thing I want to do is show this link to the LibGuide. So the LibGuide, you can see in the breadcrumb trail here, we have a link to the LibGuide. Again, very, very, very helpful tool. So I'm going to click the LibGuide here. You can see a nice little overview of the database. The thing that I really want to point out here is under searching. So I'm going to click this searching link here. Under searching, when I click on search tips, this is going to give us a list of all of the metadata fields for our custom treaty search tool and explain what they mean. So you can see here, search tips, we're going to see the metadata field chart. Keyword, search only the index. Full text will search all metadata fields for all the treaties. Okay, so you're doing a full text search of the treaties there. Title will be the title of the treaty. The treaty number, if you have the treaty number. Citation, if you have the official citation. We even have a subject search. So if you're just doing a general search on a treaties for a particular subject area, you can run a subject search in the treaty database. Okay, so again, that's in the LibGuide. So I highly recommend just taking a quick look there if you're doing any in-depth treaty research in HeinOnline. All right, so you can see here the different categories we have, the different tabs. We have a tab dedicated to the UN treaty publications. So if you just want to see the UN treaty series, click on the UN treaty publications here, and that'll give you a list of all of the treaty publications published by the United Nations that are available in this database. You can see a link here, the League of Nations Treaty Series from 1920 to 1946. Scroll down here, and then at the bottom here, you're going to see the United Nations Treaty Series. We have a bibliography section, and then other major treaty collections. So if you want to just take a look at all of the different treaty collections that we have available in this database, just click major treaty collections here. You can see we have the British and foreign state papers. As we scroll through here, you can just see the substantial collection, Index of British Treaties, Martin's Treaties. You can just see here the substantial collection of treaty content that we have available. The treaties and other international agreements of the US from Charles Bevins. And then other related works. So, content included in here. An example would be Treaties in Force, which is a list of all US treaties currently in force. That's just an example of a publication. So you're going to see all other treaty related publications and works available in this section here, other related works. And then a section dedicated to the US treaties and agreements. And then scholarly articles. So I'm sure if you're familiar with HeinOnline, you're familiar that in a lot of our databases, what we'll do is we will take any relevant articles, so any articles in HeinOnline in the journal database that are relevant to treaty research, our editors will go out and find those articles, and then we'll link you right to them. So if you want to see all articles we have in HeinOnline, relevant to treaty research, this is where you'll be able to find a link to those articles. All right, so I'm going to jump back here to the treaty index, because what I want to do is get right into treaty searching here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show some different examples of how you can easily find treaties in HeinOnline. So the first thing I always recommend, go right to this treaty index search if you're looking for a specific treaty in HeinOnline. So you can see the metadata fields here. And again, the LibGuide page under searching, you're going to see what each of these metadata fields mean. So that's very helpful to help you find the most relevant on-point search example for the information you have for that treaty that you're looking for. Okay, so keyword, full text, citation. So for my first example here, I'm going to look for the treaty International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. So I'm going to refer to this as ICCPR. This is a treaty that outlines basic human rights, such as the right to life, freedom of speech and assembly, the right to a fair trial. So this treaty is from 1966. So a couple ways I can look for it. If I know the title of it, I can just select here, select title. I highly recommend putting it in quotes, and we can type it in here. Or if you have, for this example though, what I'm actually going to look for is by citation. So if you have the citation for the treaty, you can type it right in here. So I have the UN citation, the UN Treaty Series citation. So I'm going to type it in here. Click search. And then again, when you're searching here, you're searching across all treaties in HeinOnline, all indexes in HeinOnline. So even if we don't have the full text, it will search the index for you. If we have the full text of the treaty, of course, it'll link you right to that treaty. So we can see here, we're looking here at our result. Couple things I want to point out here. The treaty summary. We'll always have a treaty summary here for you. I think this is a great way to get a quick look at the treaty and a great summary. What is the treaty about? When was it signed? So we can see here, registration number, citation. Is it bilateral? Is it a multilateral? This is a multilateral treaty. And then a little description, a brief description of the treaty will be included. Kavas subject will be included here as well. And then this is also very helpful, the UN current status information. So if you want to see the current status of a treaty, just go ahead and click here and it'll actually link you out to the United Nations. And we can see here, registration number, title. And then as we scroll down here, we have a nice chart here, participants, action, and then date of notification or deposit and date of effect of the treaty. Okay, so again, this links you out to the UN so you can see the current status of a treaty. And that'll be right below the treaty summary. You're going to see the UN current status information link. A couple other really nice features of doing your research, your treaty research in HeinOnline. On the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to see here, cited by articles. This treaty has been cited by 12,170 articles. When you're looking at this in HeinOnline, one of the greatest features here, you can actually click this link and then see all of those. So not only are you looking at your primary source here, you're going to see all your secondary articles, your secondary sources here, and get to look at these, get to see these 12,000 articles that have cited to that treaty. So here we're looking at all of those articles. And all you have to do is click this link here. This is part of what we call Scholar Check, one of the features in HeinOnline called Scholar Check. From here, real quick, a couple of things you can do. Quickly download a PDF of the treaty. You can download just certain pages of the treaty. So download options if you don't want to download the entire treaty. You can, the QR code reader as well, if you want to download it to a mobile device, that's where you'll find the QR code. From here, So click the link here, QR code, quickly download it, and then print your custom page range. If you quickly want to email a link to the treaty, it'll click this email icon here. You can email up to 10 different people at once, and it'll actually email them a link to the PDF, and they don't have to have access to HeinOnline to be able to open that link. So it's a great way to share a document. And this, you're going to see these icons throughout HeinOnline in different databases. It's a great way to share content with somebody that might not have access to HeinOnline without having to download it and attach it to an email. Okay, so you can click your citation format. You can put up to multiple emails, up to 10. And then I would include your name, who it's from, because it will say from HeinOnline support. And then bookmark, this bookmark here, this is part of MyHein, and I will mention MyHein quickly at the end, but it's a personal research tool that we have in HeinOnline. Anyone with access to HeinOnline can utilize MyHein. I highly recommend, if you have access to HeinOnline, that you create a MyHein account. A lot of great features with MyHein. All right, going back here to the treaty index search. I just want to show another example of how we can find treaties in HeinOnline. We could search. You can do a search for treaties between different countries. Now, when you're doing a country search, it's not always necessarily a treaty between countries. It's not necessarily only a single country. It can also be a union of member states. Okay, so let's say we're looking for treaties between the European Union and the United States. From the drop down here, I'm going to select countries, and in countries, I'm going to put European Union. And then I'm going to select and countries, and I'm going to say United States. So this is going to search for any treaties in the World Treaty Library between the European Union and the United States. Run my search quickly here. You can see here we have 82 treaties. And you can just scroll through the list here and see the different treaties that we have. You can narrow it by date, so a specific date range you're looking for. And then document type, this will just tell you where we're finding that treaty information. You can see the Heinz US Treaty Index, 52 results from that. United Nations Treaty Series, we have 12 results from the UN Treaty Series. For the next example here, I just want to show how you can also, as I mentioned earlier, you can search for treaties with a particular within a particular subject area. So let's say I just want to look for all treaties that we have focused on environment. So from the drop down here, I'm going to select subject. Then in my subject, I'm going to type in environment. And then you can even search for treaties on a particular subject within a country. So let's say there's a particular country, you're looking for all treaties focused on the environment in a particular country. Just select countries from the drop down here and then put in your country, click search, and it'll find you all treaties focused on environment in that country. For this example though, I'm just going to run my search based on the subject environment and see all the treaties that I get here. So let me just run the search. Of course, you can put in a date range. So if there's a specific years you're looking for. So we have 683 results here. Now we know one of the most well-known treaties on climate change and on the environment is the Paris Agreement. So the Paris Agreement, the goal of the Paris Agreement, it's to reduce emissions and work together to adapt to the impacts of climate change. So I'm going to search within these 683 results. I know that I'm looking for the Paris Agreement. So I'm going to click search within. So this down arrow here, anytime you're looking at search results in HeinOnline, any search you do in HeinOnline, click search within, and then you can put additional keywords or terms in here. So I'm going to search within these results. And then from my search, I'm going to search for the title Paris Agreement. So let's just click search within here. So again, when we searched for by subject environment, you can see on the left-hand side here, you have your facets over here to refine your search by date. All right, so from here, I'm going to select title and I'm going to put in quotes, Paris Agreement. So it's going to search within those 683 results for a treaty with the title Paris Agreement. All right, and here we go. We can see that a link right to the Paris Agreement on climate change. We got our link to our summary as well, and then the full text links. You can see the link to the full text of the treaty here. Okay, so just another way to search this treaty index if you're looking for something on a specific subject area. Okay, so now that we've done a quick overview of how you can actually find the treaty, the full text of a treaty in HeinOnline, I want to show how we can utilize secondary sources in HeinOnline to dive deeper into our research on climate change in the Paris Agreement. So of course, it's always great to have our primary source, but let's show how we can utilize other HeinOnline databases to find other relevant on-point material. So I'm going to go back from here. I'm going to click the HeinOnline logo to get back to the HeinOnline welcome page. When you're searching from the welcome page, it's going to search across all subscribed content. So anything you see listed here when you log into HeinOnline, if you have a trial or if you're a subscriber, anything you see on your welcome page, that's going to be part of your subscription. To search, when you use this one box search in the top of your screen, that's going to search across all subscribed content. Okay, we use Boolean searching here. So search help. This is very helpful if you're newer to our searching. I highly recommend taking a look at the search help, the search syntax guide. That'll give you a list of all of our Boolean operators and some examples of searching in HeinOnline. Okay, so for this example here, I'm going to do a full text search here. I want to search across the full text of all HeinOnline subscribed content, and I'm going to search for the Paris Agreement, and I'm going to do a proximity search here. So I'm going to search for the Paris Agreement and emissions, but I want to search for those keywords within 60 of each other. Now that'll find those keywords within 60 of each other in a section of a document. A section could be the full text of a treaty. It could be in the Law Journal Library, a section would be an article. So it's just looking for those three words in any order within 60 of each other. And I find the proximity searching to be a great way to get the most on-point relevant search results when you're running searching in HeinOnline. Okay, you can see here we have over 3,000 results, 3,800 results here. You have your facets on the left-hand side, a great way to always narrow down your search results. Pathfinder subjects, so if there's a specific subject, this is using AI to identify different subjects within these results. Section type, I'm looking for articles. You can select articles here. Location, organization, person. So, just great ways to really narrow down your search results further. Different ways you can sort your results. You can sort by number of times cited by articles. This is part of Scholar Check. So, all right, what result here? What's been cited the most? So you can see the first result, Paris Agreement and net zero emissions. If that article is on point. But we can also, sort different ways. So I want to see the most cited articles first. Okay, this first article has been cited by 92 other articles. It's been accessed 200 times by other HeinOnline users. So you can see that's another way to sort, number of times accessed. Search within, if you want to search within for additional keywords, you can do that. Okay, another search example I want to show here. Under advanced search, I want to show the Venn diagram search. So the Venn diagram search, so again, I got there from advanced search. So I clicked advanced search under here, and then I'll see my Venn diagram search option. When I click Venn diagram search, you can search for multiple words or phrases within quotes, and you're going to use and. So if you want to look for multiple words or terms, this is just a different way to display your search results. So let's say I'm doing a search for the Paris Agreement. And capacity building and developing countries. So I'm going to run my search. It's going to look for those three phrases within a section of a document. But when you're looking at the Venn diagram search, it's going to give you a chart here. And with the Venn diagram searching, not only can you see how many times all three of those phrases or words appear together, but then you can also see, let's say, okay, so I see there's 990 results for my search terms. But how about now just, I want to search for Paris Agreement in developing countries. So I'm going to select within my diagram here. Now I'm looking at 3,480 results for Paris Agreement in developing countries, or developing countries in capacity building. Now I'm looking at 16,000 results using those phrases. Okay, so just a different way to run your searching in HeinOnline. All right, going back to the welcome page. So the next thing I want to show here, I really think the Pathfinder tool, it is such a great resource that we have in HeinOnline. So the Pathfinder tool, when I refer to the Pathfinder tool, we used AI and human curation to subject code every single article in the Law Journal Library. So to get to this Pathfinder tool, we're going to click on the Law Journal Library here. So with the Pathfinder tool, it allows you to search. It allows you to search across a specific subject for relevant articles on that subject. So let's say, you know, I want to go back to the first treaty I mentioned, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. We know that treaty was focused on human rights. So I'm going to go to my Pathfinder subject tool. So from the Law Journal Library landing page here, I'm going to click on Pathfinder subjects. Okay, so let's look under Pathfinder subjects here. And then you'll see a list. There's two different ways that it'll display. We have a graphical view. So if you prefer the graphical view, you can see here, you can select your subject. So let's say humanities, and as you narrow down here, you're going to get law, and then you'll see all the different subject areas available. Then we also have the text display. So if I know there's a particular topic or subject that I'm looking for, so here I'm going to expand all, and I'm going to do control find. So I know I want to see all articles in HeinOnline focused on human rights. So I see here, human rights law, and then you can see all the topics underneath: freedom of assembly, freedom of association, freedom of information. I'm going to select human rights law. And then it's going to give me a list of every article in the Law Journal Library that we have classified under human rights law. 141,000 plus articles on human rights law. Okay, so from here, what I want to do is I want to run a search within. So I'm going to search within my results. So I'm going to click this search within arrow here. And I'm going to actually search for the treaty name that, so I'm going to search the full text here for the treaty, International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and search here. And then it's just going to do a full text search across all articles in HeinOnline focused on human rights for this particular phrase that I put in the treaty title. And then we'll see, you know, the results here. So then that way you're looking at all articles, you know, relevant to human rights for that particular treaty. And it's just running the search real quick here. And you can also see here how, you know, not only can you search the full text, but search by Pathfinder subject. So again, if you want to put another specific subject in here, you can search across a specific subject, search by title, years. So again, if there's a specific date range you're looking for, you can search across different years here. And the search is just running real quick. And then on the right-hand side of your screen here, you're also going to see this keyword search builder. I know we're running out of time here today, but we often mention the keyword search builder when we are doing our webinars. The keyword search builder uses AI and you can put in any keyword, so completely different than our Boolean searching, but the keyword search builder uses AI to run full text searching across HeinOnline. Okay, so another great search tool that I recommend taking a look at if you're doing research in the journal database. All right, and we see here we have 16,000 results. Again, you can search within the results. You can filter by using your facets on the left-hand side as well. Okay, so that was just a quick overview of searching in HeinOnline, how we can actually find the treaty, how we can find secondary sources relevant for the treaty. I'm just going to go back here to the PowerPoint. You know, again, we're running out of time here. So, again, if you're not a subscriber to the World Treaty Library, if you're not a subscriber to HeinOnline yet, but you'd like a trial, we do offer free trials. So we can set you up with 30-day trials to the World Treaty Library. If you have not had a recent trial to HeinOnline, we can set you up with 3-month trials to HeinOnline, not just the World Treaty Library, but additional content as well. IP and proxy authentication available. And if you ever have any questions, again, you can contact me directly. And I will put my email at the end of this. I'll put my email in the chat box here so you have my contact information if you do have any questions following the webinar. So right now what I'm going to do is I am going to open this up to any questions. And let's see here. So I think we did have a question in the chat box here. So the question, does this database also index specific types of treaties, bilateral tax treaties? So yeah, you would find, you know, if you do a subject search for in the World Treaty Library, you could do a subject search or a keyword search for taxation. That would be a way, that would be my recommendation as a way to find any relevant treaty on a particular topic or subject. So we don't have a way to say select, you know, tax from a dropdown. Again, it would be a full text searching or a subject search. So from the drop down here, subject search, and then you'd want to put in taxation, you know, tax treaties from there. So that'd be the best way to run a search for a specific subject area. But yeah, it covers, you know, expansive collection of different subject areas are covered in our treaty database. So to look at a list, the next question I have here, what is the scope of the World Treaty Library? What does it include? Which printed series? So extensive collection. I mean, we have so many different, again, we have the UN Treaty Series, the League of Nations Treaty Series, Wicador, Dumont, Bevins. To look at a list, I'd say that the easiest way to see, because we have so many titles, you can see here, all titles, we have over 1,100 titles. And you know, you can see the major treaty collections by clicking major treaty collections here, but then other related works, you're going to find other valuable resources here. I think the best way, if after this webinar you'd like a list of all the titles we have, I'd be happy to send that over. If at any time you want to download a list of all of the different titles in the treaty database, which will give you a list of the scope of the World Treaty Library. I mean, we have historic, you can see here dating back to the 1800s, as well as current content, current treaty material in here as well. So to download a list of titles, the more information tab here, when I click this more information circle here in the breadcrumb trail, I'm going to click here. Okay, and it's going to give me a little explanation of the database, but then also you're going to see download a list of titles. You can download a text or a CSV file. The CSV file, again, then you'll get a nice spreadsheet listing all the different data or titles in this database. So great question there. Any additional questions here? How many countries do we cover? Another great question here. Really, I mean, the treaty collection will cover really, I'd say almost all countries in the world. I mean, I don't have an exact number of the countries covered, but we have so many different treaty titles and publications coming together in this World Treaty Library that you're really going to see, again, treaties from all over the world covered here. Great questions here. Any additional questions? A lot of good questions today. And again, if you have any, I'm going to actually put my email in the chat because if you think of anything after this treaty or after this webinar is over and you have any additional questions, please do not hesitate to email me. So I just put my email address in and I'll put my name in here, Roxanne Marmion. And I'm just going to take a look here and see if we have any additional questions. So I'll wait just another minute. But I just want to thank everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for the webinar focused on World Treaty Libraries. And again, if you're interested in learning more after the webinar, have any additional questions, would like just a general trial to HeinOnline, please do not hesitate to reach out. We'll follow up after the treaty. I will follow up with everyone with a link to the recording so that you have the recording of the webinar available. So everyone will be getting an email in the next week or two with that webinar recording. Thank you very much. Another great question here, does your platform also have treaties with various statuses, signed, enforced, and effective? So yeah, you will in the treaty summaries, you will find that the UN treaty link will be helpful. And then in the US Treaties and Agreements library, in the US Treaties library, you can actually search within the US Treaties library, you can actually search for treaties, whether they are in force or not in force. We actually have an option in there to search for treaties. If you're only looking for enforced treaties or treaties not enforced. So we do have that option. Again, that's in the US Treaties and Agreements library. Click over here. And then from the drop down, you'll see enforce selector, and then you can select that there. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. And please do not hesitate to reach out with any additional questions. All right, thanks. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now.